Hello, my name is Svetlana. I'm Bulgarian. I'm a professional in European affairs. I've worked in human rights and currently I work in humanitarian aid and civil protection. In times of crisis, restrictive measures and practices which directly impact gender inequality tend to become more commonly accepted. For example, a common misconception about the COVID-19 pandemic was that we were all in the same boat. However, the pandemic hid for a while at least the fact that there was the stay-at-home policy had a tremendous negative impact on the rise of domestic violence. So simultaneously, it brought also up to the surface the debate about issues like double or triple workday for women. Which were actually who combined employment with care work or taking care of the children. So at least this collective experience that we lived through made us think and sparked a debate about these issues. But to me, gender equality is not only what happens in our immediate environment, it's also what we can see happening around the world. For example, in my line of work in humanitarian action, mitigation and response measures to gender-based violence and conflict-related sexual violence became much more difficult during the COVID-19 pandemic. We saw actually gender-based violence being on the rise. Another aspect was, for example, that children, especially young girls, suffered much more during the pandemic because they had to stay at home, which meant that they became a financial burden for their families, which led in turn to early marriages, early childbirth, and interruption of schooling. So in response, in humanitarian action, nowadays we have several policies and tools that we use to mitigate these negative consequences. According to me, a key achievement is the fact that we speak out more and more about these topics nowadays, and it's not something perceived as so controversial anymore. Because in my understanding, gender equality is not about giving women more opportunities. It's about making sure that we free everyone from the burden of their roles that were traditionally assigned to them by society. More broadly speaking, around the world we have seen examples of regress in women's rights. For example, access to abortion or the de facto ban on work for women. So as long as we turn blind eye to women struggling to defend their rights in one corner of the world, the rights of all of us are at stake. So an idea to address this challenge is to use the tools that modern society offers us to exchange best practices, to exchange knowledge, to organize ourselves. And for example, projects like this one, I think, can bring an added value.